love back in your right. It's love in black and white.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Love in Black and White, where each week your two hosts, myself, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth, and the co-host, Manulus Rojas Martin, put the love back in you right. This is Love in Black and White. Anyways, all right. So we left off our teaser. Sorry, I just had to put the dog in his cage. Give him a couple lashings. Joking, people. In your whole bitch.
You seem out of breath.
I know. Well, because I'm like amped up. I took a Bang energy drink. I can't even talk. I'm ready to go. 5 things for dating in 2021. So my list is probably going to be totally different than Manulus's, because mine is like definitely dating. First one, negative COVID test.
This is quality.
You need a negative COVID test if we're dating. We'll just negative COVID test. A Zoom and or Skype, some type of video like this. Yes, because I'm like we aren't in a position where you can go to bars if that's what the kids do nowadays. Okay, guys, I don't know. Go to the nightclub, cut a rug, a little sock hop, if you will, a little doo-wop.
Oh my god.
So whatever you used to do, like going out to try and meet people in public, you can't do that. So you need a dating app, some dating app, one of them, which goes in with the Zoom, because you have to you meet somebody on a dating app, and then you want to see how maybe they take great pictures, but when they talk, they're like, "Hi, Harry," and you want to do like a video messaging with them,
Shit.
A phone in general, but a modern phone, so you can do FaceTime or Duo, whichever.
Agreed. Yep.
And then the last thing, a mask. Okay.
It's so dumb. Oh my god.
Yours are gonna be like real thoughtful and like fucking meaningful.
Yeah, they totally are. So this is for the long-term relationships out there. If you're married, if you've been together a couple years, or a long time, communication is one thing that you have to really have in 2021, especially, we don't know when quarantine's going to end, hopefully soon, but you don't want to be in the house not communicating with your person, especially if you're quarantining together. You want to make sure you have that open dialogue, and I think that'll contribute to a very healthy relationship. Work out together, get those endorphins going. You saw how Jay just ran with the dog, man. That's what they got a good relationship because they work out together, so that's one of me and Crystal's things we do. We go on a run or a walk, and then when we walk back, we talk about ideas, jokes that I'm working on, movie ideas that she wants to write. So just anything in that area. Go on creative dates. Don't get lazy in the time of quarantine. What we do is we'll go to like waterfront. We'll put a phone up on the dash, and we'll watch a movie, kind of like a little drive-in, with a little bit of scenery. Brother got to try to get laid. Brother got to try to get laid. And then surprises. Be thoughtful. Don't be afraid to try to surprise your significant other. What I do, I know her love language, so I try to surprise her with a coffee every now and then. She loves Starbucks, so I'll go get her what is it, a sweet cream.
Her love language is coffee?
She loves coffee. That woman loves Starbucks.
Finish your thing. Ahead. But no, finish your thing.
Okay, she loves a vanilla sweet cream cold brew with light ice, extra sweet cream. I know that shit, and an acre roll. So I always like
surprised,
if I'm out.
I would have thought a dark roast.
Oh, you would have thought that, but yeah, I guess not. Because she wants the cocoa. I guess the cocoa co-host. And then don't be afraid to release your inner freak during the quarantine. You know what I mean? Spice it up a little bit. Yeah, do something new, or find individual hobbies. Don't be afraid to break off from one another and have your own little things that you do, because you don't want to be all up under somebody. So
now this sounds also like these could also just be good regardless of quarantine or not. Great advice. I'm going to put in here. I'm going to write it now for the listeners. This is probably awesome audio, so I don't forget it. This is going to be the teaser for next week.
Okay.
I'm just writing it. Almost done.
Love
Okay,
it.
done. And the dog is going fucking batshit crazy in the other room. He's howling. You may hear him.
I can't hear him.
Good. Well, fuck him. No, he put it. He's like, he gets that separation anxiety, but he'll be all right. It's an hour. My neighbors, I'm sure, love me. Anyways, yeah.
Jesus, Jay. I mean, fucking white Mike Vick all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Jesus.
fucking. He'll learn. He'll fucking
monster.
He'll learn, or he'll have a limp. Joking.
Here on Love in Black or White, we do not endorse any type of animal cruelty. As you can see, Jay loves his dog. You should see
and
if
doggy
you're not a
style.
follower, yes, two of his favorites. Make sure that you follow Don Wrinkles online. What's
Wrinkles.
the actual Don Wrinkles
yes.
online? So yeah, it's the most adorable Instagram and like endless entertainment and fun that you will have this year.
Yeah, Manny called him a motherfucker on one of the YouTube comments. I commented on it, or on Instagram. I commented as Don Wrinkles, and he's a little bit of an asshole. And I said that Don Wrinkles was, I said as Don Wrinkles, hey, I'm carrying this show for these two dipshits, basically. And Manny goes, "You little motherfucker," and it brought me so much joy. Okay, so
and wait, and it hurt my heart that he almost didn't follow me back when I followed him. So
fuck, I want to get right into the fan mail.
Yes,
from Daphne. From what is this on my fucking mic? Sorry,
lovely Daphne.
Yes, Daphne NC. What was
it's North Carolina. That's North Carolina. Daphne from North Carolina. I just put it in the notes. So
all right. Do you want to read it? You read it. Since you put it in the notes. You
okay.
got it, man. Yes.
All right. Let's do this. So Daphne, thank you so much for writing in. Daphne said she had a question. And it was that you and your significant other have been dating for 3 years and you decide to get married. Your best friend, who is your best man, for the wedding, wants to throw you an extravagant bachelor party in Vegas. Your wife to be is against this. Do you honor her wishes, Jay?
Okay. So I'm trying to think the last bachelor parties that I was involved with. When Kane, for his bachelor party, we it's funny because Kelsey was saying take him to a strip club. She almost like, without saying it, it was almost like she was, and we know things now that we didn't know then, but it was almost like she was hinting like, oh, try and get him laid. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what? But now I know that they were in the open, or she wanted an open relationship. I don't know. Anyways, different podcast. But for me personally, like Manny being one of my best buds and any of my other best buddies know, I'm not into strip clubs. So like a dope bachelor party to me would be like, maybe this is what we did for my birthday in LA one year. A bunch of comics and everywhere. We all went and did an escape room and we went and saw a movie. And I was like, that was great, you know? So for Kane's, he came out to Phoenix and we didn't tell him where we were taking him. We took him to Tombstone. We spent the whole day there and everything. Come to find out, he had never seen the movie Tombstone. We thought because as we were going there, we were like, oh, dude, he's a big movie guy. He's gonna fucking love this dude. And then he was like, he's like, I've never seen Tombstone. So then we watched it that night, and then he was like, oh fuck, that was dope. But yeah. So
why Johnny Ringo? Looks like somebody just walked over your grave.
I'll be a huckleberry. But getting back to this question, so I don't think my fiance would have any objections to whatever my bachelor party would be, because unless but see, I don't have friends that are like this. Like I was gonna say, unless whoever my best man is, if he's like a cock and he's just basically doing what he wants to do and is like, we're gonna get hookers and all this shit, that's not what I would want. But like if you're my best man, Manny, and me and Daphne are engaged, right? And I'm sure. Well, I don't even know how this shit all works. I don't know if you as the best man tell the woman, hey, this is what we're planning, just so you know, or if I tell her, like maybe you have it as a
Right.
surprise. I don't know. So um I just realized I think I don't have this in dual screen. So oops, let me do this one sec.
Oh,
Okay,
you're
there
good.
we go. Well, we're good now.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
anybody
Whatever.
watching it, the first half of it is just going to show us as we're talking. But anyways, I'm all over the fucking place because of this Bang energy drink, dude. I'm ready to
I
run through
love
a
it.
fucking wall.
No!
Yeah. No, I would just whatever my hobbies are. Like I think one of my buddies for his bachelor, we went to I think we went to like a Mariners game
Mm-hmm.
because he's a big Mariners fan. So,
Right.
that's all the shit I like. I don't I have no desire whatsoever to go to a
Okay.
strip club ever.
Well, let's say your best man is Ron Jeremy without the like rape stuff. So yeah, and he's just a dick, and he's like, hey Jay, all right, we're going to Vegas, and it's gonna, we're gonna go to every strip club. There might be hookers involved, and your fiance is like, no, I don't want you hanging out with Ron.
Okay, well, a couple things. So if Ron is my best man or whatever,
Yeah.
first of all, I feel bad for me. But what if he's telling me ahead of time, like, hey, this is what we got planned. So, clear out
Right.
this weekend. We're gonna go to Vegas, go to strip clubs, maybe get some hookers or whatever the fuck I would tell him. I would
Right.
have no problem being like, hey, Ron, I appreciate, this is great, but first of all, I don't need all that. We don't need to go to Vegas. We can do something local. But second,
Right.
that shit doesn't. That's if this is for my bachelor party, I have no
Right.
desire to do any of that shit. I would have
Exactly.
no problem telling him that. I'm trying to think like what I would like to do that somebody that I'm engaged to would be like, I don't want you to do that. I don't know.
I feel like you were working during my bachelor party.
Do ya?
I think you were, or else you were out of town. Wait, wait,
Okay.
wait, 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 wait. When did? I'm trying to think when you went to L.A. Um.
It was right after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, you weren't here anymore. So this was what 2015. So yeah, okay. So so basically, the exact scenario kind of almost happened where there were all these guys that I had invited, and they started this huge group chat, and they were going back and forth. What should we do for Manny? What should we do for Manny? Chris Rodriguez was like, we need to go to a strip club. We need to do this. We need to do that. And everybody in the chat was like, Manny, he's a square. He's not gonna want to do that shit. So
Manny's gonna be talking to the stripper. So what happened? Are you okay?
oh, perfect example. In Vegas, when we were hanging out with Faison, and all it was like, unfortunately, it was Ruben and some other of his friends, and they were like, yeah, let's go to the strip club. And I could tell Faison didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. So anyways, I'm in there, and some girl is like talking to me, and I'm just like, so what do you do outside of this? You know what I mean? That's the kind of conversations I'm having, because it's like, I don't want to lap dance. And then some Amy Winehouse looking girl was like, when you gonna let me rock that cock, bro? And I was like, whoa, slow down. You know what I mean? It was intense. So I was like, nah, I'm good.
Dude,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was all over the board. But everybody pretty much came to the consensus, hey, let's go do pizza at this place first. Then let's go to GameWorks, play some arcades. Then we'll go to a karaoke. We're gonna go karaoke at the very end.
Fuck yeah.
And that's what it is. So I got like Jose Bolaños came out, got me wasted. I went to GameWorks, threw up in front of some kids in a bathroom, and I was like, this could be you. Get your shit together. And then played video games the rest of the night. And then we went karaoke, and like, you remember Aaron Bishop?
Yeah.
Blacked out, passed out on the side of the street somewhere, and his wife had to come get him.
See, like, but that's great. Like, yeah, if you guys were like, we're gonna get you hammered, cool. And maybe that's something. Maybe you, because I don't get hammered really. I did Zooming with the homies, and I was like, I'll never be this drunk ever again in my life. I can say that with confidence. But
yeah,
let's say you guys were like, we're gonna get you hammered tonight, and I was like, cool. And then maybe that would be a scenario where maybe my fiance was like, I know he doesn't really want to do that. He's probably doing that because of you guys and out of love for you guys. And then I might be like, hey, thanks. That's a good out. That gives me a good out. I can put it on you, honey, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think to answer the question, if my wife wasn't with it, I mean, just knowing me personally, I wouldn't want to upset her before the wedding. So I'd probably just tell the friend no if I knew what was going down. But I can't speak for everybody. Some guys are like, this is my last chance to do everything that I wanted to do. But it's like, so why are you getting married then? Right?
Yeah, dude. And I would that was another thing I was going to say is I always try and like if the roles were reversed. That's a big thing with me in relationships.
Actually, that is the second part of the question.
Oh yeah,
So,
well I was going to say like I would think for me like whatever, if you came to me and say, okay, here's the things we're going to do, I would say, okay, I would say to myself, are any of these things something that my fiance, or how would I feel if the roles were reversed? And
Right.
if I'm cool with it, then all right, cool. If it's something that, and we'll get into this now. So if my fiance was like, they're like, we're gonna take her to Thunder from Down Under, and fuck, I don't know what else would it, and then she's gonna get some private dances from the dude. I'd be like, yikes. I probably the Thunder from Down Under thing. But the other thing too is like, you don't even know though.
Right.
Like if, like you said, like if they're going to Vegas, excuse me, I don't know what's going to happen. So it comes back to that trust thing, like
like rumor has it though, like because they used to kind of have like a Thunder Down Under at the parlor. There was a guy who used to do comedy who ended up being one of those guys. And apparently they used to hook up with women in the crowd all the time, like just in the back green room and all kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that could run through your mind. But if you have any doubts in your person, then you probably shouldn't be with them, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like, I would, I mean, okay. So if my fiance comes to me and goes, so the girls are taking me we're going to go to the Thunder from Down Under. And then I don't know, they're having some guy come into the room and doing.
Oh, wait. Let's role play. Let's role play. Okay, I'll be the girl.
Okay, great.
Okay.
What's up, girl? You excited? Excited to put this dick on lock? So stupid. What if people thought this is how when I role play, I always fuck around like at the beginning. But what if this is how I actually was? Like when I go, what's up, girl? You ready to lock down this dick?
Jay, I am. Put a ring on it.
You're gonna have trouble walking down that aisle, right?
Girl, I'm about to be bow-legged like a motherfucker. I don't even know.
All right. Okay, so
okay, all right. Here we go.
What's my fiance's name?
LaDasha. I don't know.
Come on, you gotta think.
All right. Let's call her Claire. I don't know what the.
It's Karen, but it's spelled with a Q.
Is it Quarren or is it Karen? It is spelled Quarren. Thank you.
The R is a 7. Oh fuck! All right, Karen. All right.
Jesus. Fucking hilarious. Holy shit. Okay. And scene.
All right.
So Jay, the girls are planning my bachelorette party, and it sounds like it's about to be off the hook, boo. And so, I just wanted to say, first, it sounds like we going to something called Dancing Bear, where he wears like a bear hat, but he runs around naked, and they about to get me some private dances.
I'm quite familiar with Dancing Bear, Karen. He's quite the performer. I've seen.
Oh, that's what I hear. The girls they told me that. So, and then afterwards, apparently we're going back to this guy named Daquan's house, and it's about to be a party at his house. He's one of the Dancing Bears, and he's gonna bring his friends, and so we're gonna have a good time. And then afterwards, we're probably just gonna have a little slumber party in the hotel. You know what I mean? Maybe pop a few bottles, get crazy. But
okay, pause for a second. Okay, now if this is legit, like she doesn't know what Dancing Bear is.
She doesn't know at all.
Naive. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, back on. Okay. Just so you know, Karen, babe, first of all, I love you, baby.
Thank
so
you.
Excited for our day. Let me do you have your laptop by here? I'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay, here. You might want to look up what Dancing Bear is, because you're kind of going to be expected to fuck that guy.
Oh, okay. Let me look. Oh my God. Well, apparently my computer has a bunch of Trojan viruses now.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe we should go.
So does
I don't know.
Dancer.
So you know what, Jay, you are right. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I shouldn't go?
Well, I obviously, I don't want to be, I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, let me plan your bachelorette party. But, I mean, you're not of this lifestyle, Karen. I am. I know, like, you're a good Christian woman. I know you're a
Girl.
virgin.
Yes.
And that one dude, Daquan with a Q. Uh,
Yes.
I've seen him also on the Dancing Bear. But it's not my place to tell you what to do for your bachelorette party. I'll just tell you this. If I was telling you, if I came to you, honey, and I was like, the guys are taking me to this strip club, the Dancing Hoe, I don't know, whatever the fuck it's called. and and this girl is known to sleep with, fiancés or people at bachelor parties. Would you want me to go to that? Would you want me to still go to that?
Jay, I trust you 100%. So whatever you want to do, I feel comfortable
I
with.
appreciate that you trust me, and I trust you too,
Yes.
honey.
Thank you.
I'm saying though, I'm not asking if you trust me. I'm asking you, would you want me to be in that environment?
You know what? You're right. It's not Christ-like, so no. Thank
Okay,
you, Jay.
exactly.
Thank
And
you, Jason.
you bet, honey, baby. I always strive to be Christ-like.
I know you do.
I mean, some people think it's what would Jay do, but it's actually what would Jesus do.
See, praise him and sing. That was good. Okay, yeah. That was a great
honestly,
answer.
that's probably how I would handle it. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, if I, like Isabel was from West Africa, my last girlfriend or whatever, and I could see a scenario where they're like, her friends are saying we're gonna take her to this thing, and she has no idea, so she's just like, my friends are taking me, whatever, and then I would be like, just, you might want to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And it's, and like, in a scenario like that, it wouldn't be if I trust her or not, because I totally trusted Isabel 100%. But it would be, you're in that environment. Also, you don't know somebody might slip a fucking Jimmy into her drink, or whatever.
Exactly.
And so then it's not a matter of trust or her being in control. She has no idea,
Right.
So that's how I would probably handle it.
See, I like that. And then, just to I mean, we've been around bachelorette parties and we know how annoying they can be, especially when you're on stage. You know what I mean? And they're just yelling and got little penis tiaras, like you said, and it's insane, man. So I mean, knowing that you could go from that, like, innocence to something chaotic with, like, depending the atmosphere. Yeah, it's like, I trust my person 100%, but if you don't know what you're expected, or if it's not something that you normally would want, I want you to be informed. So
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the right answer. Well, I'd love
Yeah.
to hear Daphne's how she thinks.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are, because I think from what it sounds like, we would agree with you probably for the most part, or if 100% with all that. So.
Yeah, the dog's back to howling. He fucking revs up. He revs up. He starts with a ow, 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 and then he fucking starts going crazy. I think it's when he doesn't hear my voice for a second. Like, they Frenchies are known for, like, they have, like, separation anxiety. So
Yeah.
I got to beat that out of him. What?
Oh, I gotta be. Okay. Here's a question for you.
Yes.
How do you address clinginess in a relationship? I know that in the past you have dated, I won't put people's names out there, but you've dated, let's say, for instance, a comic who wanted to just be on every show with you, and all up under you, and it's that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're searching for your own identity and, working on your own material.
I'm going to tell a funny story with that.
Go for it. Yeah.
I always say that I would never date a comic, and this, and we dated just briefly. This lady, this woman, whatever the fucking proper term is. But I hit on her when I first hit on her. I thought she was at the Comedy Underground. I did talk about this on a previous episode, but she was at the Comedy Underground, saw this white girl, thick at the time. She was thick, and hit on her. She told me I thought she was there to just watch shows. She told me she had a boyfriend, so I was like, oh, no problem, beautiful, you're beautiful, whatever, blah blah, have a nice day. Next thing I know, she's on stage talking about, yeah, I lost weight recently, and I have a boyfriend, but now people are hitting me. There was just a guy upstairs named Jay that was hitting on me, and I immediately told the host, I was like, fucking put me on next. So I went up and addressed that. But then she broke up with that dude. Then we eventually started dating or whatever. But funny story about a show that we were on. A buddy of ours, Toby Roberts. So she was on a show, and she basically, I got her a guest spot. So she goes up before me, and she's basically doing a joke of mine, but made it like a female version of a joke of mine. And I fucking told Toby, our buddy, and Toby just goes, "That's what fucking bitches do, man." Fucking idiot.
We don't endorse Toby's language, but that's Toby for you.
It's just
He's
being
horrible.
dumb. But clingy. Okay, so clingy. If I'm well, I've always said, like, I want whoever I'm dating, I want them to have their own hobbies and their I think it's good that they have their own kind of like life away from, because the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Definitely.
It's a trip though, because like I was talking to this one girl, like, we'd a few, I don't know what, we weren't an official item, whatever, but I think it was progressing, and then like over the holidays went out of town, and then it's like, just I don't know if like she had an old fling back at her where she was, or what, but it's just kind of like dissipated, and there's only so much that I'm gonna, like, everybody knows, like, if the calls aren't being returned, or
Right. When
text or
you're kind
whatever.
of being ghosted.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not gonna push the issue, and I'm not a psycho, so I'll just be like, I get to a point where I'm like, all right, well, I've done more than enough to let know that I'm still trying to communicate. So and if I don't hear from them, then it's on them.
For sure.
But clingy, yeah. So I don't know, how do I deal with somebody that's clingy? Like I mean, well, here's a negative of me, a negative
Mhm.
thing about me, which I know, and it drives women nuts, but I tell them up front, I'm not a big fan of talking on the phone.
Right.
Just talking on the phone. Like, I would rather do a FaceTime for 20 minutes than talk on the phone for 5 minutes.
Right.
I worked in customer service before comedy, and you do 200 calls a day, and this thing is just on your fucking ear, and it just drives you
Yeah.
nuts. So it made it so I fucking hate being on the phone. So God, the dog is going fucking nuts in the other room. But so I tell people, like, I communicate via text, and like, I'll do FaceTime, which you have to, especially with comics being on the road. You have to be
For
able
sure.
to do FaceTime or video chat or all that shit. But I'm not, I don't really like talking on the phone. So, it's not that necessarily somebody's clingy, but if there's somebody that they're like, you'll see it in profiles, like people's online dating profiles, though. It'd be like, I don't like texting, I like to talk on the phone. And I'm like, oh, yikes.
Dude, I'm just like you, as far as the phone goes. And I think it may stem from being forced to talk on the phone when I was a kid. My dad used to be notorious for, like, we'd be talking to him on the phone, and he's like, "Let me put you on with my girlfriend," and we're like, "Oh my god, say hi to so and so," and I was like, "What the fuck? I have nothing in common with this woman." You know what I mean? And she's probably the woman who you cheated on with, on my mom with. I don't want to talk to him. So not only that, but it's like, like you said, working in customer service and having to do these cold calls and, just deal with people that you don't want to talk to. That's tough in its own right. But the girl that my first girlfriend of 3 years, or second girlfriend, the one of 3 years, she was super clingy, had no friends outside of her, outside of my friends. And so everywhere I went, she went. And it was like, that was the hardest thing, man, was to like say, hey, you need your own friends, because she was like, well, I thought that we all were just friends together. And I was like, you don't need to show up when I'm playing basketball, you know what I mean, with just the guys, and sit there the whole time. So, I mean, that's the one thing I tried to address it, but I think at some point, if they don't recognize it, you need to just tell them, like, hey, like, I need my space. That's a hard conversation to have. I need at least, yeah, go for
Oh
it.
no, I was just gonna say, I remember actually now, I used to explain it this way. That's crazy. I don't know what you said that made me think of this, but I used to say it's like a trinity. I have a
Mm-hmm.
trinity, the trinity of J. It's like I need time with you, who I'm dating. I
Mm-hmm.
need my time with you. I need time with my friends, and I
Yep.
need my own time. And and those are all their own separate things, but they all make up J.
Totally. And
But
now,
yeah,
now it's the square, right? So you need time with the
yeah,
future lady. You
yeah,
need your time. You need time with the boys, and then you need time with Don Wrinkles. So you know
yes.
what I mean. So you got to look at you. That was creepy. Don't ever do that, Bill Cosby.
Oh, don't. Yikes.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Seeing as though we just left the holidays, this is a question I've always had. If and maybe, I guess it depends where you're at in the relationship, but is it okay to have to do separate holidays and
Mm.
then join up after the holidays? Let's say, for instance, your girl's really close with her family, you're really close with your family, and you don't want to split time, do 1 year here, 1 year there. You want to be with your families. Is it okay to have separate holidays?
I would say that's probably an individual, each individual relationship, or
Right.
because one person might, one couple might be like, yeah, they have it worked out and it makes sense in their scenario, and whereas another couple might be like, that's weird to me. I mean, I'm very like, I think personally I'm very understanding with people's time, because I
Yeah.
know like it's so precious for what we do, and
Hmm.
um and so I'm understanding with that. So like, if I'm trying to think, well, okay, I'm engaged to somebody, or I'm married, or I'm dating,
Yeah.
and she's like, okay, yeah, I want to go back and see my mom and dad, but my mom's allergic to dogs, so you wouldn't be able to bring Wrinkles. I know you were talking about we'd go see your dad. Why don't you go spend time with your dad? We'll do our Christmas thing, like Christmas Eve or the 23rd. That'll be
Yeah.
our Christmas, and then I'll go see my mom. You go see your pops. You can bring your dog and everything, and then we'll fuck on the 26th.
Yeah, I would say I'm there with you, but I think at some point you do need to do the joint thing and just kind of go each place as a couple.
I mean, I think that's the preferred. That would
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
be the preferred.
But
I'm
like
just
you
saying,
said, if it works for you.
yeah, because you were saying, is that how did you word that when you asked that?
Let's see. Is it okay to do separate holidays
Oh
as a
yeah,
couple? So like, is it, she goes to her parents, you go to your parents, and then
yeah.
you meet up afterwards.
Is it okay? Yeah. I mean, we don't know every scenario, what situation. Maybe, it's a COVID thing. Maybe I've had COVID, or I'm going through it. I'm asymptomatic,
Yeah.
and your mother is in the high risk group. So,
Right, right.
I don't want to, So, is it okay? Yes. Is the ideal scenario, though, I think, is we're a couple and we're together
Right.
and we're sharing our lives with our families.
Right. What if she's like this, Jay? My parents are racist, so you can't come over. I'm just
And then I just go, I get it. I get it.
No, yeah, no. I mean, it makes
I'll
sense.
be like, I'll catch you on Kwanzaa.
He's just light skinned, and Mama, he's light
Yeah,
skinned.
dude. I remember in high school, my buddy Michael Fesser, a buddy of mine, Michael Fesser, he looked like Michael Jordan. It was crazy, but
Yeah.
like we did, I don't know what we did. We're in high school, but we got to his place like late. So he's like, you want to just crash here? So I was like, sure. His mom had no idea. The
Right.
next morning, I come down the stairs, and Fess is like, hey mom, this is my buddy Jay. And she goes, her first, not hello, nice to meet you or anything. Her
Yeah.
first response is, oh Lord, a white boy done spent the night in my house.
What?
That's
Crazy.
what she said. She just goes, oh Lord, a white boy done spent the night in my house.
Just like, what the fuck?
It's like, nice to meet you too. I guess I'll be leaving. Fuck.
Jesus. That was wild, man. Oh God. How are we doing on time?
We're great. What time did we start? We started at like, I don't even know.
Yeah. I feel like it was around like 5:18. Or no, sorry, like No, 5:30. Sorry, we
Sorry,
started around like
5:30.
5:30.
Okay, yeah. I think we're good.
Then
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, we did that one. Ooh. Oh, what's your thoughts on living together before marriage and sex before marriage?
Me
Basically
personally,
living in sin, Manny. How do you feel about that?
if you are super religious and it's not for you, don't do it. But if you're like me, if you're like everybody else, I say you need to do both before you get married. That's just my advice.
You
I
don't buy
think
a
that
car without test driving it.
that's what I'm saying, Jay. Thank you. Break it down.
You gotta kick
Like
the tire.
it just like the fires. It's like I think it's important because if you find out that like this person squeezes toothpaste out of the toothpaste container wrong, you know what I mean? If you find out that they are just they're a horrible, they're dirty, you know what I mean? They don't clean up after themselves. There may be things that you find out that you're like, that you later what you're just gonna get a divorce, you know what I mean? So there's that. And then also
you just gave me a flashback. Quick story.
Go for it.
Back when I'm allergic to aspartame, which is in diet products, and it I won't go into that whole story, but the gist of it is it like makes part of my like a side of my body goes numb and it gets into my head and I can't talk. They thought I was having a stroke the first time it happened, right? Well, I was dating a girl at the time. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay. So I was dating a girl at the time and it happened while I was with her and we went to the hospital and then I actually had a migraine from it. First time I ever had like a migraine where lights hurt and everything. And then I had to go through, we went to her place and I had to go, and this was my first time at her place. I had to go throw up. And I remember looking in the toilet and it looked like a fucking construction worker's site toilet. Like, and I was like, you're fucking, this is really sobering me up pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry, go on. What were you going to say you're going to tell me afterwards?
Yeah. It's a bit that we can do that I think might be funny. But I remember, so for those of you who have followed my comedy career, me and Jay helped me with a joke. It's about this guy named Bodie, but the exact same scenario was where I went on the date with this girl and I went to her house and it was just trash and boxes everywhere. And like, it was the point where she got me a drink and the ice cubes tasted like what was ever in the freezer. And I was just like, no, I can't do this. So I think it's important to know
like
that.
This.
Right?
You were like, this ice tastes funny. And she was like, yeah. Don't worry about it.
It's just so it is. It's important to know these things about a person because it's like if they're gonna drive you like batshit crazy, it's like you don't want to, it's gonna be cheaper than getting a divorce, right?
Yeah.
Also, I think it's important to hook up with I think to each their own. I don't want to force my views on anybody else, but I think that if you don't sleep with a few people before you get married, I think you're always going to wonder what it's like to be with other people during, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, is this what it's like all the, but if you're religious, that might be, like you said, I'm not trying to, God forgive me, but I also think
stumbles.
Yeah, no, this stuff. It's such a loaded question, but I think that, let's say for instance, you get married and this is the only person you've ever been with and the sex is just horrible. You know what I mean? Like
well, the thing is maybe the sex is horrible, but you don't know because you don't have anything to compare it to.
True.
So I guess I'm actually thankful. I've told this story about how I lost my virginity, but I'm actually thankful that it was with somebody that I didn't end up like dating because I think there's positives and negatives of like marrying your high school sweetheart or your first but I think you also may allow more things to be, or you may allow yourself to be treated badly with someone that maybe they're your first and only person you've ever been with versus if you've run through some dicks or some vaginas or whatever, you're like, man, there's other fish in the sea. I don't need to take this shit. You're not going to treat me like an asshole.
Right.
As far as the same question for me, what was the exact wording? Is it okay to?
Do you believe in living together before marriage and sex before marriage? But
Yes.
I guess they could be worded a few. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. Any other questions? Do I believe in it? Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
If I actually think I think if you were to say to me, which do you think is better? The sex before marriage, I don't think one is better than the other, but living together, I actually think it would be better to live with somebody before you get married. I think that would verse you have been separate or whatever, and now we're married, and the next day we're gonna live together, and I don't know any of your fucking habits, and vice
Exactly.
versa. I don't know. Like, do you push farts out at night when you're sleeping, or do you hold them in?
That's right. Oh
Yeah.
man. I mean, yeah, there's so many variables that could go into that if, you know, especially with the whole living together thing. Granted it'd be hard to break up no matter what, but I think it's harder when you've got that marriage certificate, right?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, can you imagine like you go to sleep and all of a sudden that your person, guy or girl, is having night terrors or just screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're like, oh yeah, there's something I can't cure. You know what I mean?
They just have some recurring dream where they just start yelling, "I'll cut that white motherfucker's dick off." You're like,
You're like, what?
what the fuck? And then the next day you're like, yeah, you were yelling like you're gonna cut my dick off. No, honey, it's just a dream I have. A dream? Not a nightmare. It's a fucking dream.
You're like, yo, Martin Luther King had a dream. You need to dial this shit back.
Yeah, fucking Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. What's funny is a little side story. Comedy competition I was in, Big Sky. And did you ever do Big Sky, Manny?
No, I need to do it with you.
Well, so the year Tony Baker did it, and his roommate.
Oh wait, is that Lucas's?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, in Montana.
No, yeah.
And I guess Tony was either talking in his sleep or having night terrors. And so the dude on the bus, we were all talking, and Tony was like, "Oh, serious?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, man." It's like, what the fuck? It's fucking Tony. Oh, I never knew.
You know what's crazy is so this is even wilder, is that so this is a story about, and this has nothing to do with the whole thing, but just as far as sleeping goes, there was Crystal knew a chef or a waiter at one of the places she worked who went on some sort of trip, and he went on it with his buddy. The guy fell asleep, and I guess at 3 o'clock in the morning he wakes up and he's like paralyzed and he can't move, so kind of like the sleep paralysis, right? And he's just like, he's fucking frozen. The guy, his buddy, sits up in the bed, looks at him, stares at him, goes and locks himself in the bathroom, right? Guy falls back asleep. And then in the morning, when he wakes up, his buddy is back in the bed. And he's like, dude, I had the weirdest dream, man, that I was frozen. And you sat up and looked at me, and you went and locked yourself in the bathroom. And he was like, that wasn't a dream, man. He was like, that was real. I sat up, and for some reason, I wanted to murder you. And I don't know what it was.
Fuck.
That came over me, but I locked myself in the bathroom because it was that crazy. So I don't know if he was like possessed or wherever they were, man. But that
the
shit
guy's
is
like,
wild.
In that dream, was I masturbating in the bathroom? Because I don't know.
Was I
what
screaming?
The fuck? Dude, what?
Yeah.
Time for a new. It'd be like, hey man, we had a good run as friends. You're just
exactly.
thinking of waking up wanting to murder me? Jesus Christ!
It's fucking nuts.
Okay. Should couples, should they have? I think we're with time. We'll do one more, and then I'll move this down, and then we'll do one more, then we'll do the teaser. Okay, couples.
Okay.
Should they have individual and separate relationship goals?
I think that's a given.
Yeah.
Actually, skip that one, because I think it's a given. Everybody needs to have their own goals and shit, and then have your couple's goals.
Well, what if so, because I'm sure there's guys and girls like this, but maybe back before, I don't know, back in the day, but sometimes
1950s.
I think so there might have been some women, and again some guys, I'm sure too, gay ones. No, Jesus, clear it up after I'm done. But no, but that their whole goal, their individual goal was the relationship goal. Like some women, I think, were like, I just want to be a good wife and a good mother,
right.
and which is admirable. Whatever you want, great. So if that is what you want, because I think there's still people like that, guys and girls, that are like, I just want to be a wife and a mother, stay at home mom, and the toughest job in the world. The Bill Burr joke.
Yeah, so let me clean that up real quick. As PC Manny, Jay wasn't necessarily wrong, because there were gay couples where there might have been a guy who actually wanted to just be a good, husband, before they could get married, or just a good boyfriend or significant other. So back to you, Jay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. What was the other one you wanted to do, Manny?
Well, I was gonna actually say, how do you address trauma in a relationship, like when somebody is bringing baggage in
Oh.
from a past relationship?
I've dealt with this before, and I'm pretty blunt about it. Like, I mean, like I've said on the podcast or the show before, I don't care what's happened in your past as long as it doesn't affect our future. I mean, I've told women straight up that you're punishing me for something that some asshole you dated did. I'm not that asshole. Unless the other thing too is, like, because I know a lot of people they'll do they have like mile markers, or they'll do certain things because they're like, well, I won't sleep with a guy for, let's say, 3 months, to make sure that he's right, or whatever the thing is, or they have different tests or whatever. And I've always, anytime that's come up talking to a female, I've always said that if a person, guy or girl, if a person's an asshole, they're an asshole. Whether it's going to come out, whether it's, if you slept with them the first night, or you wait 3 months and sleep with him and he's an asshole, it's going to come out. So I just, I take everybody as they are, and judge from that. I don't put on you anything from anybody else.
Definitely. Yeah, I I agree. I think that, if you start to see signs of it in the beginning, you got to address it right away and just be like, hey, this isn't, what you're putting on me, I haven't done, so please stop. If you don't trust me because of what happened before, like, I'm not that guy, so please address that. And if it doesn't get better, I think that you have to make that decision of either get out, or you got to go to couples counseling and figure that shit out. So,
and I've told women before that I've dated that, like, they like when a fight will start over nothing, and I'll say to them, I go, I don't know if it seems like maybe you're used to always being in arguments. Maybe your last relationship you were fighting a lot, so that's how you kind of relay that somebody cares, is by them fighting with you, or arguing with you. But that's not me. I don't like arguing. I don't like drama. When an issue comes up, I look at it almost like analytical, like a math problem. Like, okay, what's our issue? And then how do we resolve it, and then move forward, and then get back to enjoying life. I don't want to, I'm not into name calling. I'm not into yelling. I'm just like, what's the problem? What's wrong? What did I do something? Did you do something? What is it? Let's resolve it and then move forward.
Fix it. Yeah.
But yeah, I've told girls that before too. Like, I don't know if you're, I'll call it out. Like, if we're arguing about something stupid, I'll say it. I'm like, we're literally having a fight about, fucking, I don't know.
Cheez-Its.
The Cheez-Its. Are you just, do we have to have a fight for you to think that this is because that's what you're used to, that you're used to being in relationships where you're always arguing and fighting? Because that's not me,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Exactly. Great answer.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, so what's our teaser for next week, Jay?
First, let me just say to all the LBWs, the LBBWs, the love and black and beautiful white, I don't fucking know. Anyways, we got to think of a name. What would it be?
Yeah. Our fans,
the Oreos.
Seriously, the lib. No, we'll have to. We'll think about it.
Hey, you know what, listeners, if you have an idea for something for love in black and white, that would be good. Let us know. Okay. Teaser. And I also want to say again, as we say every week, thank you everybody for listening. And we love the questions that come in, because it gives us something usually to role play. And people love that. And if you can, please rate, review, and I guess if you type out a review, not just give 5 stars on iTunes, but if you actually type something, you can say whatever. Manny looks great. Jay's, massive cock, whatever. But if you type something out, I guess it affects it more. So if you could do that, rate, smash that like button. Go ahead and rate, subscribe, all that horse shit. Okay, teaser for next week. Oh, actually, before we do the teaser,
Yeah.
I'm bouncing.
Oh,
What are you
good?
plugging? And plug your fucking handles. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. It's all good. Let's see. So, not much going on right now. I think I have another improv thing at the end of this month. Yeah, so you can tune in and shit on me if you'd like. But I will give you guys the dates. At Manny Martin Jr. And make sure you check out the Hollingsworth List podcast. Love the new format of it.
Yes,
It's
fuck
me,
yeah.
Jay, Phil, Fox, and Sean McCann. Oh man, it's some of the funniest back and forth banter and shitting on each other. You will love it,
Yes.
I promise you.
And everybody's so different, you know.
And we are, yeah, we all bring something individual and unique to the table. But that's all I
And
got right
PC
now.
Manny sometimes shows up.
Yeah, PC Manny shows up quite often on that show.
And we've also had non PC Manny.
Oh my god, yeah, it's been interesting.
I love non PC. I love both Mannys. All right. I'm at Big Irish J, obviously everywhere at Big Irish JAY. And this Friday, I will be at the LA Comedy Club for a show called Stupid Town. Let me get the exact time. I think it's at the Stratosphere, the LA Comedy Club at the Strat, and I think it's like a midnight show. And I can't bring it up in my calendar right now, but it's I'm going to be plugging it over the next few days leading up till Friday. So that's at the LA Comedy Club Friday. I'm pretty sure it's at like 11 or 12 midnight. Stupid Town Comedy. And the teaser for next week is what is and what is yours or my love language.
Oh,
You sound like you know it. I always hear that's my love language, or my love language is fucking Reese's peanut butter cups, or whatever the fuck
Right.
it is. Or my love language is fucking scented toilet paper. I don't fucking know. I don't know what it. I always hear people saying what their love language is, and I
Yeah.
have never known what that is. So next week, let's delve into explaining it. We'll explain
Right.
what is a person's love language, and is there a test you take or something that you do to find out what, because we'll do it for me because I don't know what my love
Okay.
language is or
Okay.
what a love language is. So
Okay.
that's the teaser for next week. And until next week, we will
Be putting the love back in your right. It's love in black and white.